Howdy, partners, and welcome to Nicole Reacts, a show in which I, Nicole, react to online marketing gurus that I find on the internet while occasionally wearing a cactus sweater. So, my qualifications for snarking commentary are that I've owned a marketing company for 15 years. In that time, having worked with hundreds of clients on marketing strategy and implementation. So, I know a fair bit when it comes to online marketing and related topics like search engine optimization, website development, and that kind of thing. I want to thank everyone, first and foremost. I am recording this obviously in the past, but I am infinitely close to monetization as I'm recording this. So I think I might be monetized as you're watching this right now. Thanks to everyone for helping me get here, for watching playlists to get my watch hours up, for subscribing, for sharing videos. I really appreciate all of that help because I've been on YouTube for over a decade now and I've never been able to monetize my content before. So this is a really exciting chapter for me and will allow me to potentially, create more videos and have more fun with this content now that I can justify it a little bit financially and make sure that, for example, payroll can run because it's not just me in the company. There's three other people that depend on me to make sure the money comes in every single month. So thanks for your help in doing that. I really appreciate it. So today's person or people is John and Nadia Melton. I feel like I've seen John Melton and Nadia Melton before. I am 99% sure they have left a positive testimonial on Ray Higdon's website. If so, I will screenshot it and put it on the screen. And also, in the last couple of weeks, I was watching a DC stream and there was this guy who looked like his background, the dome at Epcot Center, the silver thing that looks like a golf ball. His background for video work looks like that. And it appears to be John Melton on that stream. And then Heather C was also talking about John Melton, and I can't remember what stream that was, but I was like, okay, this guy's come up twice now in the last week for me. I'm going to look into him. And what I want to show you is the reason that sometimes I watch older content from these kind of people, because I look for specifically marketing trainings to react to because I know about marketing. But what all these people eventually do is they pivot into sort of lifestyle and mindset. So I want to look at their channel. I'm going to scroll down to the older videos and then I'm going to scroll up so that you can see what I'm talking about. How they'll go from being tactical when they're a smaller channel to being much more vague as their channel gets bigger. So you'll see what I mean in a second. All right, so here is their channel, 12,000 subscribers, so not a ton. What I'm going to do is click on videos. And then if you hate watching someone scroll, just close your eyes for a second. I'm just going to scroll down the page. All right, so it looks like their first video was uploaded 6 years ago. And the title was Facebook Tips for Network Marketing. Use our 10 to 30 prospecting formula. So how to use the ATM Facebook group strategy, top producers tips for recruiting effectively on social media, why network marketers fail, top 4 reasons explained, Facebook marketing, how to build trust, how to effectively follow up with prospects, a Facebook profile versus a page, which is better. So we're seeing even if some of these are a little bit vague, they are a little bit more tactical than think and grow rich, right? So now I'm going to scroll up. So close your eyes again, or I'm going to fast forward this part. I'll fast forward it. All right. So now we have how to identify a pyramid scheme and why I care that you're not in one. Michelle Churchill became one of the top recruiters in our company. No leads, no problem. The number one thing you should focus on when you're brand new. Stop recruiting. What to do when a prospect says yes to learning more. Why so many people fail in network marketing. Interesting, because that was a video they did 6 years ago. The strategy Jenny Joe used to acquire 804 new customers in 90 days. How to sell in 2023. Brock Johnson knows. Oh, we did a video about Brock Johnson a couple of months ago. So all these people are connected. So you see that it went from here's how to handle a Facebook group, or here are these 5 specific tips, to stop recruiting, to here's us telling this other person's story, and a lot more vague advice. We're not getting anything specific really anymore. I don't think we ever did, but we're getting much less specific advice from these people 6 years into their channel, just based on the titles of their videos. And I think that's on purpose. So I was trying to figure out what we were going to watch today, and I want to watch something, obviously, that is relatively recent. I don't want to watch a social media training from 6 years ago if I can at all help it. So we're going to watch this video called No Leads, No Problem. It was recorded 11 days ago, according to the time I'm recording this. So it's not super old. It's about 20 minutes long. And what's interesting is it's filmed in a vertical format. Now, I know that TikTok has now made it so that you can upload much longer videos than 3 minutes. So maybe the idea with this was that they would record it for TikTok and then they would repurpose it on other platforms. But it's interesting that a 20-minute video is in a vertical format. That's not something I'm used to. But anyway, I watched part of this the other day and I was just getting enraged. If you see me less ragey at the beginning, it's just because I know what he's going to say. I'll probably get more rage as the video plays on and I hear the content for the first time. So anyway, let's hear what John Melton has to say about how even though we have no leads, it's not a problem. He's going to show us how to deal with it.
If you don't have leads, if you don't have people to talk to about your business, about your products, it's hard to make money even if you have the greatest product, the greatest compensation plan, you have the greatest opportunity on the planet. If you don't have people to talk to, it's really hard to build a business.
So to those of you who are just listening, basically this guy is sitting with a black t-shirt with a lion on it. I think he does give off Leo energy if you're into that sort of thing. Sort of middle-aged-ish guy. I say middle-aged as someone who's 42. He has blonde hair that's a little bit spiky on the top, goatee. He has very, very white teeth. The way that he's framed, his face slash body where he's filming himself is taking up kind of the bottom 2/3 of the frame. And then the top sort of third is his ceiling with a singular recessed light that we can see. Now, what I would have done is I would have brought the camera down, like the way that I'm framed right now. I'm in the center of my thing, right? You're not seeing my ceiling. You're not seeing my top of my head cut off. I'm like in the middle. And what that would have done is what he's going to do as he's talking is these little messages are going to pop up on the screen. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on whatever, these little calls to action. And by centering himself and having a dark shirt on, he would be able to put those calls to action on the bottom part and have them be more visible while also covering up the light that is a little bit distracting to me. But anyway, that's what we're seeing here. He's very smiley. If you're listening, you can picture this person probably in your mind now. All right.
As much as I love social media and I love TikTok and I love Reels and I love all things attraction marketing, the truth is many of you have a warm market you have not tapped into.
Okay. He said two things here, and I'm just going to say them so that we can notice them. He said he loves social media because it's attraction marketing. And what these people mean when they say attraction marketing is that you put something out there and it attracts the right people to you. So you put out a video and people see it and say, oh, that seems like the kind of person I want to deal with. And they reach out to you. He says he loves attraction marketing, but most of you have warm leads that you're not reaching out to. Now, as someone who runs lead generation ads for my clients, this annoys me because a lead is specifically somebody you don't already know who has expressed interest in the thing that you're offering. So for example, one of my former clients, he's retired now, he used to do YMCA safety consulting. And so we made a pool safety checklist for YMCA operators, and we made it downloadable on his website while running a Google ad to it, targeting specifically people who were in those kind of facilities. And they had to obviously give their email address to download the checklist, right? So they were able to see, okay, this YMCA is interested in safety. And so that is a lead. That is somebody you did not know who has a specific interest in what you have to offer. Yes, they're interested in the free pool safety checklist, but they might also be interested in some general safety consulting or talking about creating a safety plan. So him saying that you might have leads you haven't reached out to, you can say that these people are leads, but the idea that most people are looking for is, how do I find these people who might be interested in what I'm doing, who I don't already know? Those are usually the two criteria people mean. So when he says you have people you know, have they expressed interest? Do they seem like they might want to do the thing that you're doing? Just because you know them, not necessarily, but all right, let's keep watching. Ooh, fancy. My Lifestyle Academy.
I need you to have that long-term vision. I talk a lot about business principles and treating your business like a business and not a hobby. We all want filet mignon lifestyle, but we got them hot dog habits.
Filet mignon lifestyle with hot dog habits. That's one I haven't heard before. I'll give him that.
So you want freedom, you want residuals, you want a big bank account, a big paycheck, right? You want to fire your boss, and maybe not all. I mean, maybe some of you just want that extra money, and that's cool.
So this guy's going to do this a few times. So I'm going to point it out here so that you can notice the behavior. He's gonna trot something out like it's gospel, and then he's gonna walk it back. Like he said, "You all wanna fire your boss, but maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you just wanna make extra money." And it comes off when he does that as condescending, because the first thing he presents sounds very reasonable, but then he sort of is like, "But maybe you don't feel that way." And you're like, Maybe I do feel that way." And it makes you question it, and I think that's on purpose. So, he's gonna do this a few times, and it drives me crazy.
If you just want supplemental income. But I think a lot of us, especially the people that watch my videos, they want a significant income. And that means you got to treat it like a real business. Let me give you an example. When I was a mortgage banker, there wasn't a lot of marketing opportunities.
Okay, so he was a mortgage banker before this. So everybody I know who does like commercial loans or mortgages or things like that, they go to a lot of networking events. Their bank will sponsor maybe a food drive for the local food pantry, or they will throw a customer appreciation event or something like that. And part of your job as somebody who does commercial lending in particular, if you're trying to serve like a local market, because let's face it, you kind of have to compete with maybe these large banks that maybe can lend at a slightly lower interest rate than you, are the fact that you're local, that you have a local presence, you have a local office that people can see and talk to you. So I bet that a lot of his job when he was a commercial lender, he said, or commercial mortgage person, was FaceTime with potential clients and being seen in the community. So, him treating it like a real business, that wasn't his real business. He didn't own the bank. He worked for the bank. So, just pointing that out.
How did I get leads? How did I find prospects? I was the number one loan officer in the mortgage company I was in. I was a rookie of the year the first year. And then the second and third year, I was number one.
He was also paid a base salary to do this job. Now, I know some commercial loan people do work on commission of some sort, but they are also paid a base salary. Unlike network marketing people, if you're in network marketing, you're not being paid a base salary by your upline. You're working entirely on commission. And I just want you to look around. Like if you were to look for a sales job that was commission only, just go on Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever. If your job's commission only, you're making a very large percentage of what you sell as a commission check. You might I'd be making 40, 50, 60%. And in an MLM, it's like you're making what, like 10% or something, and you have no base salary. Yeah, it's a lot easier to sell when you know that there's a certain amount of money coming in and you can pay your bills.
With no background in finance, no background in real estate, dropped out of community college.
So this guy runs My Lifestyle Academy. So he runs an academy. He wants you to learn from him, but he could not learn from anybody else. He could not finish community college. So he has a disdain for education, but wants you to be very into learning from him.
So I didn't have a background, but how did I outproduce everybody else?
Maybe you had a good mentor who like made some connections for you. Maybe the bank or a mortgage company had existing relationships with people that you had to maintain. And so, you were introduced to client A and client B and you were able to maintain those relationships, right? Maybe your job gave you training, which they paid you to take. Again, unlike MLMs, you're using your own personal time to learn about the business, to learn about the commission structure, to learn how to use the back office, right? In a job, you are paid for that time. If you're making a business money and you learning something will help the business make more money, you should be paid for it.
First of all, I had that hustle muscle, right? Work ethic. I was very consistent in what I was doing. And I took what I learned in network marketing my first 2 years when it comes to personal development and not making excuses and learning how to like just build those relationships, build rapport, and become a great communicator. I think.
So it sounds like he was in network marketing and then he took a job as a commercial mortgage person. Interesting. So where does his money come from that job now, or did he not make enough in network marketing that he could sustain himself and or his family?
That's very important. I did a video recently talking about the number one skill you really should develop when you're in network marketing, which is really relationship marketing, is being a great communicator, right? Having people skills, kind of a big deal. So
Yeah, in any kind of sales job, part of what you're being paid for is you being able to build relationships with new people and maintain relationships you have with existing people and be able to gauge when you're talking to them, like, are they ready to buy? What kind of products would be good for them? How can I make that recommendation? You're making your approach individualized. So yeah, a lot of that comes down to how you communicate with them.
So my question for you is, what books are you reading? How are you developing your skills when it comes to people skills and communication and all that? But that's not the topic today.
What these people will do is they will never give you a exact thing that you should be doing. They're going to instead say, you need to be reading a lot of books. You need to be working on your skills. They're not going to say, read these 12 books, work on these specific skills. They're never going to tell you that, because what they want to be able to do is be able to say, oh, you weren't successful because you didn't do enough. And the problem is, if they gave you a specific thing, if they gave you a specific formula and you followed it, if it didn't work, you'd be able to call them out on it and say, hey, I did everything on your list and it still didn't work. So he's just going to imply you should read a lot of books, but he's never going to say, should you be reading a personal development book a month? Should you be reading this set of business books? He's never going to say that. And it's because if you're not successful, he needs to be able to point to the fact that you didn't do enough. So he will never define what enough is in his own mind.
Okay. The topic today is treating it like a real business and having leads to talk to about your products and opportunity, because that's a big deal.
God, this guy's condescending. Yeah. We know that a part of building a business is maintaining relationships you have and making new ones. If I were to look at my QuickBooks, my sales for the past 90 days or something, most of them have come from pre-existing customers. And I've had new ones come in. I would say, what? I'm doing some math here ish. So maybe 20% of my revenue right now is customers that are new to me, like somebody I've met in the last 90 days, but 80% of it is people that I already know. But at the same time, you have to keep meeting new people so that there's new potential revenue for you to have, but you need to maintain the relationships of people that you already have. But to me, a lead is a new person. Yeah, I know. Come on up. All right, so I'm going to show you a little slice of life recording here. This is Bart. And as you see, there he is. He's hanging out. And every time I record, this cat is suddenly very interested, wanting to lay on my desk. There is a second cat that sometimes comes in too. So I don't know if it's the warm lights. I don't know if it's like the microphone is sticking out and he likes to rub his head against it. My office is under construction still, so there's going to be a few more videos, I think, with some cat butts in them. So please excuse. Anyway, where were we? His premise here is that you know people and those are your leads. And I think that that's a little disingenuous, but let's see what he's got to say.
It's really hard to enroll customers and recruit a team if you're not talking to people about the products and the opportunity, like a duh. And I
Did he just say duh? God, gag me with a spoon.
think a lot of us, if we were keeping it real, we haven't talked to the majority of the people we know. I want you to answer this question. How many friends do you have on Facebook or followers? And how many of them have you spoke to about your products and opportunity? Products or opportunity could be and or, right? Products and or opportunity in the last 6 months.
All right, so here's the thing though. Just because you're friends with someone does not mean they're interested in buying your product or being a part of your business, right? So if I look at my Facebook, I've got about 2,000 friends on there. I'll pretty much friend anybody unless I think you're an actively terrible person. But there's some teachers that were my teachers in high school who've retired. They're done working. They're good. I have family members. Again, they're either retired or like they're my family. I'm not going to try to sell them into something. They could also be friends from college who already have jobs that they like, right? So I would say that out of my 2,000 Facebook friends, I think there's 500 people in QuickBooks. I would say that maybe I'm friends with half of them on Facebook. So maybe 200 friends or 250 friends out of those 2,000 I've actually done business with. But here's the thing. They're not friends with me on Facebook so that they can do business with me. They're friends with me maybe for a variety of reasons. Maybe they think I'm cool. Maybe they want to see what it's like to run a co-working space. Maybe they like my stupid videos of the cats. I don't know. I don't know why they're friends with me. I think I'm a cool person, but anyway, this idea that someone is friends with you and you're going to try to sell them something just because they're friends with you is so wrong on so many levels. And I say that as somebody who is self-employed, full-time, who has people on their payroll. Like I quote unquote need the money, but I am not bugging people that I'm friends with to buy things from me. I'm not. It's not the right audience. It's not the right thing to do.
Because here's how I had so many leads in mortgages. I made this thing called a phone call. Yes, I know that's crazy.
You don't have to get sassy. You want us to call people? Is that what you want?
Using our cellular phones to make
You don't need to be like this, John.
cellular phone calls. But I'm not saying you got to make phone calls necessarily. What
So he did the thing, right? So he presents what he wants you and then he walks it back. But I'm not saying that you should do phone calls. Okay, so what is it? What do you want us to do? Rather than presenting something and saying, but you really don't have to do that. Okay, then tell us what to do.
what I'm saying is I proactively reached out to people to see if they were open to the opportunity. Now, does that mean you should do that with your network marketing business? I'm not necessarily saying that. What I am
Because these people will always say, don't sell right away, but they will never tell you at what point you know that you should present the opportunity to someone. There's not like, oh, when they say this, or when you've exchanged this many messages, or when they've gone to 2 events, answered 3 of your emails, and filled out an interest form. Like, they will never tell you when to present the opportunity, just not right away. And he's saying, I proactively reached out to people and talked to them about the opportunity. I'm not saying to do that, but you kind of are, aren't you, John?
am saying is you need to be proactive in reaching out to people. Think about this.
What do I reach out to them about? If I'm not supposed to present the sales opportunity, what should I reach out to them about? Should I reach out to them about something personal? Should I reach out to my friend from college and say, "Hey, I was just thinking about when we did this together in college. That was fun." And then this person is like, "Oh, yeah, that was fun." And they write back, they think they've made a genuine connection. And then what, I work on them for 2 weeks and then I say, "Oh, by the way, I have this opportunity."
How many of you, if you were to be honest, now we're going to go old school for a second, how many of you have actually made a list of the people you know?
What a dumb idea. Who has a list of people I know? Pretty much Facebook is the list of people I know. If I would aggregate all of my social media contacts together and maybe my email contacts, that would be a pretty comprehensive list of everybody I knew. But why am I making that list? Why is there the only criteria for them joining my business is that they know me?
Now, I know for some of you, you're like, oh, that's a boring conversation.
Yeah, it's also like a waste of time. You're giving me an exercise that I actually don't need to do.
I want to know how to just post and pray. I want to know how to post.
You literally said at the beginning of this video that you like social media because it's attraction marketing. The idea with attraction marketing is you put messages out there that attract people. So it's not posting and praying if you create content that actively attracts your target audience. So most people aren't posting and praying, they're posting with a purpose to try to attract the right people to them. So, yeah, it's not post and pray or calling them old school. It's not an either or proposition here.
Post and make profits. And I just want to sit back and twiddle my thumbs and wait for all the people to get in my inbox to ask me about my products or opportunity.
Nobody is expecting that. No one's expecting that. Everybody I know in network marketing is working pretty hard to talk to people and have individualized conversations. Nobody is twiddling their thumbs. The only people who are twiddling thumbs is people who are on the top who are trying to shame you for the lack of work that you're doing. Oh, this pisses me off.
It doesn't work like that unless you're an influencer. And even influencers should proactively reach out to people. Like I would consider myself an influencer to some
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's go look at his engagement after and I'll tell you if I think he's an influencer.
extent. And guess what? I still reach out to new friend requests every day. I reached out to multiple people today that I've never spoke to that sent me a friend request. I reached out to
Listen to what he said. I reached out to multiple people who sent me a friend request. So these aren't people he's friend requesting. These are people who have reached out to him and he's just responding. That's a lot different than you finding new people that you want to be friends with on Facebook and reaching out to them. That's a lot harder than the thing he's doing, which is basically responding to people who've already reached out to him. So he already has the leads coming in. If you're starting with network marketing, you're not getting friend requests from people like that. You're just starting. You're the one doing the reaching out. So this is an entirely different situation.
new followers today. Did you? If I'm still
Did you? And then he like rubs his chin. I think a lot of people are trying to meet new people, but they also feel icky about having a completely transactional relationship, which is a completely normal reaction to have.
doing this after 21 years and having a multi-million-dollar team,
But you had a commercial mortgage job while you were doing network marketing. So You maybe, yeah, 21 years, multi-million dollar team. Okay. It sounds like part of that though wasn't going financially well because you had to have a real job.
Having a multi-million dollar annual income, and I'm still doing these activities, these money making activities. Shouldn't you
You're maintaining the network that you have, and it's a lot easier to maintain something once you have it than it is to build it from scratch. You know that, John. You and I both know that.
why would you ever sit back waiting for people to ask you about your products or opportunity? And I think if many of us were honest, the reason we love social media is we got a little lazy.
No, that's not why we like social media. Social media is a tool to maintain a network. And I say this as somebody who is pretty actively maintaining a pretty good social network before Facebook even existed. I was always one of those people. I'd be at an event and I'd meet you and I think you were cool. I'd get your email address. I'd check in with you. Hey, how's it going? I know we were at this concert together and it was really cool to meet you. What are you up to? And there is still people that I remember and keep in touch with. Like I'm friends with someone I've met on a plane and we chatted all the way to Las Vegas. I'm friends with the woman that I student taught with almost 20 years ago. I just maintain relationships. It's something that I think I have a natural affinity for, but it's also something that I work at. Let me use an analogy here. You could hand me a screwdriver or you can hand me a really nice cordless drill. And I still need to know how I'm going to use the tool to use it. The cordless drill just allows me to do it more easily, but I still need to know what I'm doing. And if anything, I can fuck things up a lot easier if I don't know what I'm doing with a cordless drill than I can with my little screwdriver, slowly screwing the thing in. It's going to take me longer, but I can still do it. No, we don't like social media because we're lazy. It's a tool that allows us to do things that are important to us more easily. And if you're the kind of person who maintains an active network, you know it doesn't just happen. You know that you have to keep checking in with people. And when you're in their town, make an effort to see them and all of that. This guy just acting like social media automatically does it for us. No, it's a tool. We have to use the tool for it to work.
Because we could post and pray, we could post and wait for people to like, comment, ask for more information. And even though I love teaching that, and I think you should absolutely leverage social media to provide value, to encourage, to entertain, to empower, to educate, to relate to your network of people and build up a new following, tell stories, be vulnerable, be authentic, all the things. I've been building a brand now for 10 years. I was talking to Eric Worre yesterday.
Okay. This timeline is really interesting, right? Let's go through what we know about John. We know that he has been doing network marketing for 21 years and he has a multi-million dollar a year business. We also know, though, that he was a commercial mortgage person who learned skills in network marketing that helped him with his commercial mortgage job. And he said he's been building a brand for 10 years. So is that when My Lifestyle Academy started? I thought he started network marketing 20 years ago. Why did he not start building his brand when he started network marketing? These people play fast and loose with the timelines. And I know it sounds like I'm being picky, but I'm pointing it out because this way, when they give interviews or whatever, or tell their story, they can make it suit the audience that they're telling. So they're purposely, I think, being vague about it.
Today, I was telling him, I'm like, listen, I've been building a brand for 10 years, doing videos. Still today, I either post reels or do live videos multiple times a day, or you could say per week.
We're going to check that schedule. Okay, what claims has he made? He's claimed that he's an influencer. So I'm expecting at least 2% engagement because I know that national influencers, when they get brand deals, 3% is considered really good. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to want him to have 2% engagement. And he says, what did he say just now? Oh my God, I can't remember anything. Got to rewind a little bit.
Videos. Still today, I either post reels or do live videos.
Multiple videos a week. That's what it was. All right. I'm writing it down so we can check on it.
Times a day, or you could say per week. And that's after 10 years of building a brand. Like, I don't need to keep creating content. Now, of course, at this point, I'm a little bit obsessed and addicted to what I do. And I love helping. I love serving my community.
He loves helping, guys. That's why, even though he makes multiple millions of dollars and could afford to give away some things for free, that's why he gives nothing away for free, because he wants to help you.
But at the end of the day, marketing is one side of it, but prospecting is the other side. And I would highly recommend doing both.
This is the opposite of a lead, okay? A lead comes in, like the example I gave you previously about the YMCA consultant. The lead comes in, they're interested. in pool safety. They have a pool and they're interested in pool safety, and they've been targeted with an ad that's specifically for large facilities. This is a checklist for a larger pool facility for safety, right? That's a lead. You messaging your friend from high school, that's not a lead. These are two very different things. A prospect is not a lead necessarily. And I think I just demonstrated to you just now why that's the case.
Posting and prospecting will lead to profits. How many of us want some profits in your business? So that's my question for you. What's the percentage of people you spoke to in the last 6 months? In fact, write this down. Write this down.
Now, another thing these people will do, which I find incredibly condescending, but some people I think are okay with, is they control the way that you consume their content. So here are some examples of what I'm talking about. Okay, everyone, welcome to this video. I'd like you to close all of the other tabs you have open, and I want you 100% of your attention for the next 60 minutes. That's incredibly manipulative. Again, unless this is a job training and you are being paid to do it, yes, you should pay 100% attention. But if you're just listening to YouTube stuff and having fun, like by all means, do your dishes, do your laundry, mow your lawn, clean your bathroom. I don't care. Thank you for consuming my content. But they also say things like, write this down. Take a screenshot of this and post it to your social media. They'll be aggressive about it, in my opinion. And listen, I guess I'm the kind of person who's, if I'm doing a video, I will say something like, and this is the most important thing I'm probably going to say in this video, blah. And you can decide whether you want to screenshot it, whether you want to record me on video saying it, whether you want to write it down, or whether you don't want to do anything. And maybe you're just going to rewatch the video later to get that point. I'm not in control of how you consume content. If you are a note taker, take notes. If you are a screen recorder, record the screen. If you are someone who reads the transcript, that's fine. Again, it is your brain. It is the information that you want to incorporate into your brain. It's up to you how you want to do that. I'm not going to try to micromanage how you do that. You're an adult, and theoretically, at least in his opinion, you're running your own business if you're a network marketer. So why don't we treat the people who he's talking to, in this case, people who are running their own businesses, why not treat them with the respect that they should get, that they're going to consume the content in their own way. Like I said, you're watching this at a later date. I did a stream with Heather C. And some people were like, I don't think it's that disrespectful. And if you think that, that's totally fine. When you're a teacher, they teach you that different people learn differently and that you need to present information, not just verbally in a lecture, but you also need to help students, for example, write the notes. We need to help them do experiments. So learning with their hands, learning by doing. So it's really important to do that kind of thing if you want someone to retain the information. But he's just talking at you. I guess I just don't understand why these people are so entitled of how other people consume their content. It just seems really bossy to me. But
5, 5, 3. Because again, you're treating it like a business and you're playing the long game, just like I did in mortgages. I would reach out to someone today. They would say, call me back in 6 months. And guess what? I would call them back 6 months to the day.
That's a different situation than what these network marketing people do. Can we agree on that? It's not like your friend contacts you to join the business and you've said, you know what, I'm not in the space to do this right now. Can we talk about this in a year? That's different than you saying, no, thanks, I'm not interested.
You should do the same thing, treating it like a business, having that long-term perspective, because every conversation you're planting seeds, and then your content creation is watering the seeds.
What happens when someone says no, though? That's what I want to know with this guy. So if I'm messaging someone as a network marketing person and I present the opportunity and my prospect says no, do I follow back up with them? Is no really a no? And if it is, I will respect this approach. If it isn't, I will not respect this approach.
You're planting. You should be doing both prospecting and marketing. So the 5-5-3 is this. Now, some of you can adjust these numbers for your own agenda, your own goals, you know, what you want to do with your business. Remember, this is your business, but you should have a schedule, just like you have a schedule for your freaking job, right? How many of us have a job and you have to be there at a certain time? You have to be there at a certain time and you have to stay till a certain time. And that's building someone else's dream. That's building someone else's business.
Yeah. And these people in your downline are building your business. So
if you own a business currently, a traditional business, you own a business that owns you.
That's pretty presumptuous of you to say that. So if I own a traditional business, that business owns me. I cannot wait to hear his reasoning.
Right? And you probably have to be there at a set time and you have to work these long hours, and then you get started in a network marketing business. You treat it like a hobby.
Okay, so his whole thing is that in a traditional business, whether you own the business or work at the business, you have to be there at a set time, day and a set time and work long hours. But I'm not supposed to expect that with network marketing. But then he just said, and then you treat network marketing like a hobby. So it sounds like I do have to put in long hours with network marketing as well. That's what you're implying here. You're not saying it directly, but you're implying it. So this is a little bit confusing to me, John.
You treat it like a thing. And that's why a lot of you don't get the results you want. So here,
That's right. A lot of you don't get the results you want, not because the system is rigged, not because you're working hard doing the wrong activities, not because your product is overpriced and is saturated in the market. And there's literally hundreds of thousands of other people selling the same thing at the same price you are. And you have no control over the availability of the product or the quality of the product or anything like that. It's not because of any of that. It's because you're not working hard enough. This sounds very familiar.
here's the 553. Ready?
Yep.
The first 5 is every single day you should be friending up 5 new people. Now, people always say, where do you find the people? Are you kidding me? How about in your neighborhood? How about when you're out and about? You know what I do when I'm out and about and I meet someone cool?
Oh, God.
I'm like, hey, let's connect on social media. Let's connect on Facebook. Let's connect on Instagram. I become a friend because, again, I'm playing the long game. I become their friend today. They might join my team 3 years from now because
And they might never join your team because they already have a job. And just because both your kids are in soccer doesn't mean they want to join your business. You sat next to each other in the stands at the soccer game, and that's literally it. Maybe they're going to invite you to a barbecue.
I have
God.
long-term perspective.
Imagine treating every relationship in your life as transactional like this. Imagine how shallow your relationships would be. Imagine how people would like dread running into you in different places because you're like, oh, there's Nicole again. She's always trying to sell me something. I'm an actual business owner who makes my living running a business. And I don't treat people like this because it feels gross. And I don't think it would make anyone want to give me any more money to treat them this way.
I have long-term vision. I'm building an empire. I'm not playing with this thing. Some of y'all been playing with this thing.
Stop victim blaming. John, if you think everyone can be successful, why don't you tell them how to be successful instead of berating them for what they're currently doing?
I might become friends with someone today that, yeah, listen, I'm hoping to prospect them right away. I'm hoping they're open to my products or opportunity day 1, week 1. Maybe they want to get healthy, wealthy. Maybe they want to lose weight, look younger. Maybe they want some of this delicious collagen coffee. I don't know. And I won't know until I have a conversation. But my goal is to add new friends every day. You should be, write this down, a professional friend collector.
Okay, so I'm just supposed to run into these people in real life. Okay. Today I'm working from home, right? And the only plans I have is I might go to the grocery store later to pick up some things, but I might just cook with what I already have in the fridge first to empty it out a little bit more. And I might take my dog for a walk. Those are my 2 plans to leave the house today. So since I'm supposed to meet 5 friends a day, how am I going to do that today? Right? Am I going to just go on Instagram and look for hashtags and like friend people who seem cool? That's weird. Or let's go with his demographic, right? So stay-at-home mom. These are the people like you like to recruit into multi-level marketing. You like to shame them for doing domestic labor and not bringing in any money into their home, despite creating massive economic power by providing free services within their home. Hey, let's say I'm a stay-at-home mom. Again, I might take the kids to the park today in this theoretical scenario, but I'm not really going anywhere. I'm not running into people. So how am I going to meet 5 new people a day while working from home, whether that's working from home at a job or working from home as like a stay-at-home parent?
And you want to be a friend first and a marketer second. Don't have commission breath. Commission breath stinks. So you want to be a professional conversation.
Except if you treat every relationship like it could be a future transaction, you're going to have commission breath pretty automatically.
Starter, write that down, and a professional friend collector. I'm
Write that
collecting friends
down.
everywhere I go. I meet cool people. I want to be their friend. I want to connect with quality people every single day.
Yeah, I meet cool people who want to be their friend too, but it's not so that I can sell them something later.
It doesn't take that much time. But how about a Facebook group? Like, where do I find people? How about your Facebook friends? How about your current Facebook friends? How many of you answer that question honestly with the percentages? Let me see.
Okay, he must be doing a live stream and have uploaded this somewhere else.
So Michelle says, and she's honest, probably 2%. Cassandra says probably 5%. Do you guys realize? Cassandra and Michelle, do you have big goals, big dreams, big aspirations? Do you want to make the big bucks? Let me ask you a question. Do you think you deserve it if you only talk to 2% of your people?
That's freaking rich. John, do you think you deserve it? Do you think you deserve being a multimillionaire and your kids' teachers are barely making enough money to live in the area that you live? Do you think you deserve it more than they do? Gross. Capitalism is so gross. And I know I run a business and I am in capitalism. I understand. It's weird for me too. I'm I try to come to terms with it every day, to be completely honest with you. It feels gross to think that I deserve more than someone else because I am doing more sales than they are. There's some jobs that do not involve selling anything that are very valuable in our society that I think we should be paying more. Just saying.
Now, listen, I'm not picking on Michelle and Cassandra. That's the typical answer. I get people reaching out to me, oh, I'm struggling, I'm frustrated, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, getting rich is hard. Next question.
So they're coming to you with their problems and you're just dismissing them. Got it. You sound like a really great coach. It sounds like you're really able to empathize with where they are and give them actual tools. Sounds great.
I'm struggling.
That's sarcasm font, by the way.
Shocker. You just
Shocker. God, this guy. Imagine being coached by this person. Imagine that you are having problems running your business and you say, okay, I'm going to invest in a coach. This person really knows what they're talking about. And this is how this person talks to you. Imagine that.
got started? Yeah. I'm 3 months in. Okay, let me ask you this. If you went to med school and you're 3 months in, are you ready to be a doctor? No. So whether it's sports.
He's comparing multi-level marketing to going to med school. That's interesting.
Business, again, long-term vision. If 5 years from now, heck, 10 years from now, you take your annual income and turn it into a monthly check, are you going to care how bad you sucked the first year or two? Or you know what? Forget that. Let's forget about it.
Okay, so it's not going to work right away. It could take up to 10 years to work. And we're going to disparage people for having a job in the meantime. How are they supposed to live otherwise?
The big bucks. What if you just made what you're making right now in your job, but you got to make it from home and it was in the form of residual income?
How residual is it though when people are quitting your team or you're actively having to recruit people all the time? Trust me, like onboarding new clients is a lot of work. There's a reason that most businesses try to make more money with the customers they already have because it is a certain amount of times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a customer. I think it's 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer. I'll find the stat and I'll put it on the screen and or in the show notes. But point being is it's more expensive in terms of money and time to get a new customer than it is to retain a customer. Yeah.
Do you see? You need to have a different perspective. Like, John, I make $50,000 a year. Okay, cool. What if your part-time business made you an extra $50,000?
What if my part-time business made me $3 a month? That is more probable. Look at the income disclosure statements. He can imagine if all he wants, but if you're painting a completely unrealistic picture, the imagine if doesn't matter. I think that I am a relatively intelligent person. I'm relatively good at sales, but I look at those income disclosure statements and think, am I in the top 0.03% of people who are in this company? I'm probably statistically not going to be, no matter how smart or hardworking or good at sales I am. Okay. Because also, if you look at the people who are in those, high levels, look at how long they've been in the company. They're not people who just joined the company last year. They're people who've been in the company for a while. So keep that in mind too.
A year, but it took 5 years. Would it be worth it? Bryn talked about this in like marriage, right? If you get married, but in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, if it doesn't work out, I'll just quit. I'll just get divorced. That's sad. That's a sad way to start a business. I'll just quit if it doesn't work.
Yeah, but there's something called the sunken cost fallacy where people are like, I put in all this time, I should keep doing it. I think there's something to be said to look around and being like, yep, this isn't working, so I'm going to quit. I think that is perfectly valid to quit something. And I think in this society, we place a lot of value on people sticking things out. But if you're in a shitty marriage or you're in a shitty job or you're in a shitty situation, it's okay to quit. It's okay to get out of it. Your future self would want that for you.
That's the problem with a lot of you. You're not fully committed. You don't treat it like a business. Okay, back to 553.
There's something so horrible about this idea. It's going to be awful for a while, but just stick it out. I don't think most people get married to get divorced. I remember just being really disappointed in myself that I couldn't keep things together. And the call I was really dreading when it happened was calling my very Catholic 90-year-old grandmother. She was married 54 years. And I was like, oh my God, I have to tell her I'm getting divorced. And she's going to think I'm an awful person and that I didn't work hard at my marriage and all that. So I called her up and I told her, and she paused for 1 second. And then she said, not the right guy, dear. Good for you. he's not the right guy. Get out of there. And I was so surprised at that reaction. She was proud of me for getting out. And the thing is, anybody who cares about you does not want you to suffer. They don't want you to stick into a business that you're continuously sinking money into and not seeing returns from. They don't want you in a relationship that's in a cycle that is terrible for your mental health. They don't want that for you. So, this guy telling you to stick out a bad situation or a hard situation for 5 to 10 years before you make money, no, you don't need to do that. There are businesses that you can start and you will make money sooner rather than later. So start one of those kind of businesses if you want to start one, and start it while you still have a job. And I'll tell you this, I replaced my full-time salary I was making at the newspaper within a year and a half of owning my business. If you want to start a business, start a service-based local business, and you're going to make back, you're not going to have to toil away for 10 years to make the income you were making in your old job back. You can make it sooner rather than later that way. But what do I know?
Every day, friending up 5 new people. But you might say, John, I have 800 friends. Yes, exactly. So don't just friend up 5 new people. Watch this. I need you to pay attention to this.
Stop controlling the way I'm consuming your content.
Reconnect with 5 people every day. So it's either or. Here's what I mean. I don't want you going, oh, I really love Disney World, so I'm going to join a bunch of Disney groups, which I actually think that's a great idea. But I'm going to go in there and friend up a bunch of new people in the Disney group. Cool, but you already have 800 friends that you haven't spoke to. So instead of just trying to friend up 5 new people, how about you connect with 5 people every day on your existing friend list that you haven't spoke to in a while? That doesn't mean you prospect them. No. Why have
Don't prospect them right away. I'm never going to tell you when to do it, just not right away.
1,000 friends, but I've like never spoke to any of them. And I'm like, why are you their friend? If I can't.
You literally said I meet someone cool and then I friend them up on social media. Okay, so you're in that same position. You talked to them one time and now they're on your friends list.
Talk to you about who I am and find out more about you. Then why are we friends? Why are we connected? Okay, the second 5 is you should be popping the question 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Yes, I love attraction marketing. But if you sit back, like I said,
his little finger snaps and claps are like so condescending.
Said twiddling your thumbs, waiting for people to ask you about your products or opportunity, you're going to go broke. You can't sit back waiting for people to ask you. You have people on your cell phone right now that are on their knees every night praying for a miracle, praying for a solution to their problem. Maybe they don't feel good. Maybe they're having trouble sleeping. They have low energy. They have all these health problems.
They should go see a doctor then.
Or maybe they're not excited about what they do for a living. Like they don't have purpose.
And you're excited to shill Modere products. That's something you're genuinely excited about.
They don't love their job. They don't love their boss. They don't love what they do for a living. And they're open-minded to something else. Now, the truth is people do business with people they know and trust. So if someone doesn't know you, they don't like you, or they don't trust you, they're probably not going to buy from you or join you. But this is,
I don't know you, like you, or trust you, John.
This is why you're friending up or reconnecting with 5 people a day, minimum, by the way. If you go, John, that's not a lot. Yeah, okay, make it 50, make it 10.
50 people a day. Yeah, that sounds sustainable.
You make it custom for you, but every day. How many days? Every day.
Yep, you don't get weekends off like you would at a normal job. You're going on vacation next month. Yeah, you got to do it while you're on vacation too. Come on.
I'm a parent every day. Why would I not run my business every day? John, don't you like want to take off on the weekends? And that's an employee mindset.
No, it's not. It's a I have boundaries mindset. I had a couple of clients who, when I first started my business, they would text me at 11 o'clock at night or something like that. And I realized that I had a decision to make, which is, okay, I could answer this now, or I can set the pace of this relationship by responding to this in the morning or responding to this on Monday. And so that's what I do. And so what I tell people when I start working with them is, listen, if something's going on, like your website's down, you're not getting email, your shopping cart doesn't work, call me. Call me and I will drop everything and I will fix it, or I will find someone who will. And it doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but my clients know if something goes down, I'm available on the weekend to help them out. But in general, that I work during the week and that I try to take weekends off. And everyone I work with respects that because they understand how important it is to have boundaries. And I work out of my home, so I also need boundaries around that. I can't be working all the time. It's not good for your mental health. It's also not good for your business. Like, you genuinely need rest or else you're going to burn out. So this guy's attitude is really not it, in my opinion.
That's an employee mindset.
It's not.
Now,
It's a I'm going to run this business for the next 40 years mindset. And I can't wake up and run a marathon every day. I have to wake up and like, I can do a 5K today. Great. Oh, you know what? Today I can only run a mile. Great. Oh, you know what? Today I need a rest day. I need to be able to do that because I have to wake up and keep this business going for years to come. And if I burn out, that's not going to help anybody.
you could totally take off on the weekends because it's your business. You can do what you want.
Oh, John, do you not get weekends off? I do.
But I'm just giving you the reality and the truth. Now, you
I bet this guy takes every weekend off.
might say, John, I'm part-time. I have a full-time job. Okay, what's your point? I'm sorry, did you have a point?
What an asshole. Sorry, did you have a point?
99% of the people that get started are part-time. If you can't build it part-time, you have no business ever doing it full-time, number one. Number two,
I wouldn't say it that way. I would say don't quit the thing that's making you money until the thing you're starting on the side makes you money. So how I made that decision when it was my time to is I said, okay, my quit date is going to be May 1st, 2008. I was like, I want to quit by May 1st. But if I make 50% of my income a month, I'm going to quit the job and get a part-time job. So I ended up quitting for my birthday. My birthday, I think, was my last day of work, but which is at the end of April. So it was about a week early. So I realized I was making half of the income. And I thought, okay, if I liberated 40 more hours a week, I could double this, no problem. But what I decided to do just to be safe is that summer I got a job at a bed and breakfast. And it was like, I don't know, 15 hours a week or something. And basically it was like folding laundry, checking guests in, baking cookies for afternoon tea. Like it was pretty easy. And it was like 3 to 10 p.m., 2 or 3 days a week or something. I went from having a full-time job to having a part-time job to doing this. So I stepped down. So I think him saying, don't quit your job until the money's coming in, I think is fine. But him being like, if you can't do it part-time, you have no business doing it full-time that's not actually it. It's just making sure you have the money is important.
I did it part-time for 7 years before I cracked 6 figures and fired my boss. It took me 16 years to start making 6 figures a month.
He's been in network marketing for 16 years before he started making the money that he wanted to make. So ask yourself this question. If you spent instead the next 16 years building a business that you cared about, like maybe you're passionate about plants, maybe you're passionate about teaching kids art, maybe you're passionate about working with old people, I don't know, take what you're passionate about and find some work in it and spend the next 16 years building toward that. You're going to have so much more money and be so much happier than spending 16 years shilling MLM products to maybe get to the point where this guy is.
Was it worth it? What do you think? I am still working.
What do you think? So was it worth it? You didn't say that directly, John.
My business, you can't outsource mentorship. You can't outsource relationship building that rapport.
Yeah, you can. You can hire someone to manage your Facebook page and pretend to be you and have conversations with people. And then you can have them putting that data into a CRM that you can access. Oh, John, you talked to someone named Mary who's in Indianapolis and she has 2 poodles and wants to make money part-time from home. Cool. Let me follow up with her. And people could follow up as you. So yes, you can outsource some of the relationship building, actually.
So when somebody is ready to make a move, they are ready to try your product or join your team or join your company. Are they going to connect with you or someone else that they met, some other network marketer?
Yeah, because you're in direct competition with everybody that you're recruiting. It's so weird. It would be like if everybody that I work with, it's like instead of working together toward a common goal, we were all working against each other to like, oh, Jessica got these 3 clients and Ben got these 2 clients and Jane got these like 6 clients. Oh, and I got 7, so I'm winning. No, instead we're all like in the same company working toward the same goals. It's so much easier that way.
Listen, here's the truth. I still have people all the time in my network, in my friends list that I've spoke to about my products or opportunity. And at some point that person joins my company, not with me, or they join a different company.
So it sounds like you're not even good at doing the thing that you want other people to be good at.
That has the same type of product. Why is that? That person had a better rapport. Just like I sign up people all the time that knew other people. I sign up people all the time that knew other people in my company, or they knew other people in network marketing. Why didn't they join them? They joined me.
Because they like you more.
You might say, oh, because you're really successful. Yeah, but that's There's other very
That's a big part of it. They think proximity to somebody successful will make them successful. I don't think that's out of line.
successful network marketers. Why did they join me? Because I stayed in touch. I built a real relationship.
But you were building a relationship with the people who decided to sign up with other people too, weren't you?
I didn't have commission.
It's almost like success at network marketing takes a long time and is also completely random because you were following up with a lot of these people and they chose to sign up with other people anyway.
Breath or an agenda every time I talk to them. Do you get this? What's the three? Three people you ATM. If you want to
What's an ATM besides where you take money out of your account?
build a significant income, you need to ATM 3 people a day. If you're not ATMing 3 people a day, you need to up the ante on how many people you're reaching out to. You need to up the ante on your content. And listen,
Are you going to tell us what ATM means?
I'm not a sugarcoater. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy. If it's easy, it's sleazy. You want to build a
If it's easy, it's sleazy.
long-term business, you got to go pro. You got to go pro. You
Go pro like Eric Worre, his friend.
got to work on you. You want to grow your business and your bank account, you got to grow yourself. That's just how it works. That's just how it is. So if you're serious about the products, you're serious about the opportunity, you're serious about building an empire, why are you only talking to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10% of the people?
I'm going to look up what ATM means because he's clearly not going to say it. 1 second. Add tag message. ATM. Add tag message. So I don't know who invented it, but it's on My Lifestyle Academy, which is their website. And it's also on, what was the website? TheGoalDiggerGirl.com. ATM. Add tag message. I wish he would just explain an acronym when he introduces it. That would be a very easy thing to do. This might be the first video someone ever watches from you, John. This is the first video I've ever seen from you.
Now, some of you might have just got started with your business, right? You just got started. So of course you don't have 60, 70, 80%. Now, sometimes I see people that say, oh, I've talked to 80% of my people. I've talked to 90% of my people and no one's interested. You gotta look in the mirror.
Or maybe I just am friends with people who aren't friends with me to be in business with me.
You got to get better. Like clearly there's something wrong with either your approach, your communication skills. I talked about this, people skills. Like that is new.
Okay, so the reason that my home ec teacher from 7th grade or the woman I did an internship with when I was in college or the girl that I coached in cheerleading, the reason that these people aren't joining is because I'm not a good communicator? Or is it that they're connected with me for other reasons besides them wanting to sell my random products, whatever MLM I'm in? Come on.
Numero uno, whenever this is what's really hard. This is what's really hard about our business. You can have the best products, compensation systems, promos, support, culture, all the things. You can cultivate all of this. You can create all of this, but I can't help you if you don't help yourself.
Oh, this is rich.
Some people won't participate in their own rescue. I can't develop you.
Yeah, sometimes you can't participate in your own rescue because you're unconscious or because you're hypothermic. If you are actively bleeding money into a network marketing company, it's really hard for you to be able to be like, okay, yes, let me step back and have an objective view of this and save myself. No, you're like thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pay rent this month? Oh my God, how am I going to pay my other bills? Is my electricity going to get shut off? So yeah, when you're actively in distress, you can't help in your own rescue. So this guy being like, yeah, I can't help you. Gross.
You have to develop you. And you got to ask yourself, would you follow you? Would you join you? Would you buy from you? Now, some of you are going to be hard on yourself. No, probably not. Can you stop it with that nonsense?
So you're being really hard on me in this training. Like you're saying that I'm not reaching out to people enough, whatever. And then you're like, stop being hard on yourself. It sounds like you want me to be hard on myself.
That's stinking thinking. Listen, this is hard. I said this in the beginning. It's hard to get rich. Sorry, but it's also hard to be broke. It's also hard to live paycheck to paycheck and have more month than money. It's also hard to do something that you don't love. I'm sorry, it's hard. If anyone ever tells you like, oh, this is easy. You don't have to recruit or sell. You just join and get paid. Scam. You have to work. It just is what it is. You're not.
There's a lot of hard cuts in this, and it makes me wonder what they're cutting out.
Where you want your business, your fault. You're not rank advancing, your fault. Let me ask you this. Are people in your company rank advancing? Are people in your company acquiring customers? Are people in your company recruiting?
Just because people are getting customers in recruiting and advancing does not mean the system isn't rigged. It just means it's working for those particular people. If there's 100,000 people in your company and you're like, oh yeah, 6 of them advanced, 2 of them are multimillionaires. That's a much different picture than what he's painting here, which is the fact that if anyone is advancing, the company's fine and you're the problem.
Are people in your company winning? Are people in your company making money? Are people in your company building international teams and they're having success? If the answers are yes, are people happy in your company? Are people winning in your company? Is it a healthy culture and like an environment for people to win? Like it's not toxic?
I love it. So we all own our own business, right? But we are in a company culture that we do not control. So it sounds like it's not our own business, right?
Yes. What's the variable in the equation? You. Everywhere you go, there you are.
Everywhere you go, there you are. Yep. That's right, guys. If you're not successful, it's because of you.
And by the way, I was you. This is why I can have this conversation with you. Struggled for 7 years to finally break through and have a 6-figure income. And then once I got to 6 figures, here's the truth. Then we struggled big time as a 6-figure earner. Think about it.
Come on, people watching this call are probably actively even trying to get a few $1,000s a month. And you're like, oh yeah, 6 figures a month. And then we struggled at that. Oh, poor you, John.
It took me 7 years to crack 6 figures, 16 years to become a millionaire. What happened between year 7 and year 6?
Why did it take you that long to become a millionaire? So him talking about how long it took him to get $1 million, I thought seemed a little long for the amount of money he was making. So I want to show you something, which is a compound interest calculator. This is from investor.gov. I'll link it in the show notes in case you want to do your own math. Hey guys, editing Nicole. So I realized I did this exercise like I was sort of a normal person and that maybe I had $500 saved up and I could put away $100 a month into retirement. The thing is that John, if you listen closely, was able to crack a 6-figure income in his 7th year in business. And for the last 5 years, he's been making 6 figures a month. So what I did here is I assumed that John spent 5 years making $100,000 a month or more, making up for lost time. So I had him put down a large chunk of change into his retirement account and then put in $5,000 a month. Again, you're making $100,000 a month in this scenario. So $5,000 a month really isn't that much to you. And as you see, if he would have just put it in the stock market with it making an average return of 10%, he would still have close to $500,000 in 5 years without having to do anything. So yeah, just thought I would point out that these people talk about making a lot of money, but you can also make money if you already have a lot of money and can invest it. You're going to make about the same amount as you would actively working this business, if not more. So anyway, back to it. But what I did is I pretended that I had $500 and that I put $100 a month into this account for the next 40 years. Okay. Now, this guy, as a reminder, is a 6-figure earner, right? For 10 years. So he can easily probably find $500 and $100 a month to do this, right? And you maybe can, even if you don't make 6 figures, you actually might be able to do this yourself, right? And granted, it is 40 years, but as you see, you could make $500,000 just assuming a 10% return, which I think is pretty typical for S&P 500 or whatever. If you started with $500 and put $100 a month, that's $25 a week into this account, you would retire with more than $500,000 without having to sell any weird products or prospect 5 people a day or anything. Like you would have that. So I guess what I'm saying is you can take a modest investment that you'd buy a kit with network marketing, and you could take the money you spend every month with your product volume, and instead of spending it on products, you could just put it into a retirement account that's earning just an average rate, nothing crazy, and you could retire with over $500,000. And if you wanted to put more in, you could retire with more, because as you see with the graph, it only really starts cranking as you see, like year 16, it starts going up a little bit because the green line is my contributions and the red line is like the amount of money that it makes. If you look at the last 10 years, that's when it makes most of its money. I've had my retirement account for 20 years and it didn't look very impressive for a long time, but now it's starting to go up. So with the compound interest, it's starting to compound. The $25 a week, 20 years in, is starting to add up. Cat's bad.
I was riding that struggle bus. I was riding the struggle bus. I wasn't just riding the struggle bus, I was driving the struggle bus. So if you're getting started or relaunching, start with your warm market. Build a list, make a list. I know this is crazy. I see people talk smack about this. Oh yeah, old school networkers teaching to build a list. Like, I still have a list. Make a list. Start with your warm market. Use simple scripts and language. Hey, I found a game-changing way to make money online. I'm launching a new business, a new team. I would love to chat with you if you're open. If not, no big deal. Tell people.
Not no big deal. So this guy's Ray Higdon trained. He just left a breadcrumb for us there.
Why? By the way, write this down. Why are you doing it?
Why am I writing this down?
Because people relate to people. I'm doing it so I can fire my boss. I'm doing it so I can pay off my student loans. I'm doing it so I can retire my spouse. How many people?
Retiring a spouse is also an MLM thing. Sometimes maybe your spouse just wants to have a job they find rewarding. Maybe your spouse wants to make their own money that's not tied to you.
What do you think if you told them, hey, I'm doing this so I can retire my spouse, would go, I want to retire my spouse. I want to fire my boss. So again, simple scripts. Tell them why you're doing it. Be excited.
Tell me why.
Listen, scripts don't matter as much as excitement matters, right? Some people say, John, I am excited. Tell your face.
So that's right. Now you have to play extrovert to sell things against your will.
Excitement is contagious. Excitement is contagious. I would rather, some people will say, I don't want to pressure people or bother people.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Bother people? Thank God someone bothered me into getting rich and changing my life and
Did you feel that way the first 7 years where you weren't making six figures yet and working really hard? Did you feel that way at that time?
Personal development. Because of someone bothering me, I met Nadia Melton. Because someone bothered me,
Oh, he met his wife through network marketing. Interesting.
changed my life. Give me a break. I don't know why you're not telling everybody you know about your opportunity. The people that kill it in network marketing, time in, just year in, year out, are the ones that are always in phase one. Write this down. Phase one, talking to new people
Wow.
every day about their products or opportunity. And
Can you imagine being that person? Like, I talk to everyone about my products and opportunity every day. This sounds painful. Just take the money you would spend, $100 a month on products, and put it into a mutual fund or a retirement account and just let it earn interest and do something else with your time. This sounds awful.
and there's no addiction to the outcome. That is not how you build an empire. That is not how you build a business. You really believe in what you're doing. All of my top people, all of the people that are the top sellers, top performers, top recruiters, they have so much belief in what they're doing. They have
so much delusion that they aren't screwing other people over to be at the top.
so much certainty. And that's what people are buying.
Yeah, and they also have certainty because they have money coming in every month and they're not worried about paying their mortgage or their electric bill. It's a lot easier to sell something when you don't feel desperate for the money.
They're buying your certainty. Now, certainty takes time. Stop making it about you. Stop trying to post so that you can get paid.
But I thought we wanted to build an empire. I thought I should be talking about my products and services at every opportunity. This guy's talking out of both sides of his mouth. It's super confusing.
Post so you can help people, so you can offer advice, suggestions, things you're learning, right? I learned this from Ray Higdon years ago. ILT, invest, learn, teach. Invest time into learning something, turn around and teach it.
But you quit community college. You didn't seem to want to invest time learning from college professors.
It's not rocket science. 3 E's: empower, educate, entertain. We like to entertain. You're changing
He thinks this is entertaining.
lives for a living. Stop being passive. Why haven't you talked to your neighbors? Why haven't you talked to the people in your cell phone? Why haven't you talked to the people in your friends list? Because you're scared? Scared money don't make money.
Because these people already have jobs.
Because you're embarrassed? What are you embarrassed about? I'd be more embarrassed about my current financial situation. I'd be more embarrassed that my bank account is empty. Like, most people have more month than money, or they make a lot of money, but they're just broker on a higher level, or they have one stream of income, or they have multiple streams of income. And that's why they're open-minded, and you wouldn't even know it because you won't approach them because you're so worried about what they think about you, which is selfish behavior.
So it's selfish for me to not prospect people. I don't know. It sounds pretty self-serving and selfish for me to prospect people.
The reason I think I've been so
This is so twisted.
successful is I keep things simple. I create conversations. I create curiosity. I connect with people every single day. When I identify people that are open, I add them to the groups. We have a product group. We have an opportunity group. tag them in the video based on what they're interested in. We have this 12-minute 5 reasons why video. It's not like a super exciting video, but it gives them the information about our company, our products, and getting started. And then the next day, I add them to a group chat. I put them in a group chat with 3-4 other leaders on the team. I do an introduction. I edify those leaders. I introduce them to the prospect, and then we just have a conversation. Find out their goals.
A group chat, is this in like Slack or is this in text message? I'm a little confused about how this works. So I'm going to make up some names so that we can do a fake scenario here. Okay. So let's say John's our prospect, and let's say that my fellow network marketers are named Meg and Stacy. So I put John in a group chat with Meg, Stacy, and myself. And I will say, hey, Meg's going to take the lead on this. Stacy, if you can get John some additional information about this part of the business, that would be great. And then Stacy and Meg take it from there. I'm a little bit confused as to, we're putting them in a group chat. What is my group doing? Are Meg and Stacy in my downline, or are they on my team with my MLM coaching company? I don't know. He just threw this in and is giving absolutely no context as to how this would work.
What questions they have, we get them started or we don't. That's it. I have no addiction to the outcome, and neither should you.
He has no addiction to the outcome. Lifestyle Academy. All right, so we're going to look into 2 claims now that John made during this broadcast. The first one we're looking into is John actually an influencer? He implied that he considers himself an influencer, and we know that influencers are people online who create content around a particular subject matter. It could be around working out. It could be around being an expert in Chicago. It could be around healthy eating, right? And typically they're paid by brands, and the brands want them to have a large audience and have high engagement with that large audience. And what we consider high engagement could be between 1% and 3% is considered influencer engagement. I will link to a resource that basically says something like that. So we are looking for between 1% and 3% engagement, and we're looking for a large size audience. So let's take a look at Social Blade and start off with Instagram. So here's their Instagram audience. They have 10,000 followers, and their engagement rate is 0.39%. That is not influencer territory. Right. And let's check out their YouTube page. Their YouTube subscribers are 12,600. So in line with the 10,000-ish they have on Instagram, similar audience size. And while we can't necessarily tell their engagement rate in a traditional way, something that YouTube does, obviously, is it tracks things like watch hours and new subscribers. They've gotten 100 new subscribers in the last 30 days. And what I think is interesting about that is if we scroll down, they got 100 of them in one day, which probably means they bought them. And we can't tell, obviously, the engagement works a little bit different with YouTube, but we see their CPM, which is cost per mil. So that's 1,000 views, is you'll get between 25 cents and $4. This depends on the audience. So an audience of 100 viewers from the US might be monetized different than 100 viewers in India or something like that. Or certain products and services might be worth more money to YouTube. They might get higher advertising costs for them. So that's why there's quite the range here, but they're not getting a ton of views on their content either, it looks like. And then finally, I wanted to look at them on Facebook, because they seem to talk a lot about Facebook groups and things like that, especially when they were first starting. And it looks like they're not even really ranked according to Social Blade. So there you go. So is John an influencer? I would say no. We could be a micro influencer. If you have 10 to 20,000 people, I think that's the term for it. I don't know if it's micro or nano, but there's different levels of influencing you can do. And companies are interested in working with small creators if they have an engaged audience. And they really don't. For the amount of followers/subscribers they have, their engagement is pretty low. So I would say it'd be hard for them to get a brand deal one way or the other. It doesn't seem like they have any in the content that I've seen anyway. So I would say that John is not an influencer, even if he considers himself one. And the second thing I wanted to look into that he said is that he makes multiple videos a week because he loves making content. So let's actually see if that's true. All right. So YouTube is pretty bad with actual dates, but we can actually look at least for the next little while and see, okay, 4 days ago, 6 days ago, 11 days ago, 13 days ago. So he said multiple videos per week. So it's looking like he's averaging 2 a week. This week, 2 a week. Last week, 2 weeks ago, there was 2. 3 weeks ago, there was 2. 1 month ago, there was 9. 2 months ago, there was 11 videos 2 months ago. 3 months ago, there was 8 videos 3 months ago. 4 months ago, there was 9 videos 4 months ago. 5 months ago, there was 8 videos. There's 2 a week. That sounds like he's been 6 months ago, 11. So it does seem like he's making multiple videos a week. I don't know if it's because he loves making content or if it's because he can monetize the videos or he can reuse them multiple places, but he is making multiple videos a week and has been for at least 8 months. So we can give him credit for that. Do I think John knows what he's talking about? I think, like most of these MLM trainers at the base level, he might know a bit about marketing. I don't think he can guide you through how to set up a lead generation ad. I don't think he can talk to you about setting up a remarketing pixel on your website. I don't think he can talk with you about actually creating a different email sequence for different kinds of prospects that you have. I don't think he can talk about generating reports that measure your return on your marketing investment. I don't think he can talk to you about any of that. I think he's going to talk to you about mindset and tell you you're not working hard enough. And I don't think you need to pay anyone any money to tell you that. I think you know you're working hard enough. And if you know you're not working hard enough, you're going to work hard enough when you feel up to it. But yeah, so I'm not super impressed with this guy. He seems really condescending in the way he talks to people just based on this one video. I'd have to see obviously more content to make that definite determination, but I think there's definitely people you could pay money to who could help you a lot more than this guy could in terms of your marketing. Now, I don't believe in multi-level marketing as a model for business, as I've said on this channel many times before, for a variety of reasons. I'll link to the video about why I don't like MLMs from a marketing perspective that I made 2 years ago. Production wise, it could definitely be better, but content wise, I think it's pretty solid. And if you do want to start a business, I want to support your entrepreneurial spirit. And I say start a service based local business where you don't have to buy products, you don't have to get a storefront and all of that. You can just take a talent that you already have, whether it's watching kids or making art or mowing lawns or setting up IKEA furniture, and take that out into the local marketplace and get paid for your time and get paid right away. And what you can do is you can take $500 once you make the money, put it into an account, and then put in $100 a month, and you could retire with $500,000 by just putting in $100 a month for the next 40 years. And if you put in $200 a month instead of $100 a month, you're over a million. You're going to be a millionaire in 40 years. Just earning 10%, just putting in $200 a month. That's it. So you don't need this guy to be a millionaire. You can be a millionaire with the help of compound interest and a little side hustle if you want, that does not make you work every single day and prospect your friends and buy products that you don't need and recruit people that are going to eventually compete with you. Okay? You got this. So thanks so much for watching. If you have ideas for gurus or specific videos you want me to react to, you can leave it as a comment on this video, or if you're more shy, you can use the contact form of the website. I had a watcher listener send me some information about screen readers that I want to get into in a video. So I appreciate being able to interact with people like that. So thanks so much. If you said have additional information you want me to have, send it to me. I love it. And if you want to lightly keep in touch, we have a monthly email newsletter. It goes out once a month. And if you go to the page on the website, breakingeveninc.com/newsletter, you can see samples of past newsletters before you get into it. If you want to learn more about making money online, I have a free resource that I made that looks pretty low budget because it is, called 2020 Make Some Money, that I set up in 2020. And I recorded a series of videos of how to set up an online business and think about an online business in general. And thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. And remember, the gurus, they'll just keep on coming. But the good news is you've got a friend, and that's me in the marketing business, who's not afraid to call them on all their bullshit. Take care.